Okay, we are rolling.
All right, welcome back. So, we are going to tell you a little bit about our life right now, and then we will jump into what we're going to cover on this podcast, which is 1 year on the road and our insights. So the reason that we can go back and do this is we did write a blog post about this. So we are pulling that up to go back through and have those emotions come to the front so we can share with you basically what it felt like to us after we'd been on the road for a year.
That's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago. We're going to hit 6 years on the road in May, so it's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see that the energy level maybe is a little lower today for us, it's because yesterday was Malia and Cannon, our twins' 10th birthday, and we took 9 kids to Volcano Bay for the day, just Craig and I, with 9 kids. Volcano Bay is the Universal Water Park, and it was a lot of fun, but a lot of work and tiring, and we came back and did cake and ice cream and pizza and all that fun stuff, and then the kids had some of the kids sleep over. So to say we are exhausted...
Yeah, that's it. That's I'm tired. I don't even know what to say about it. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, we're a hot mess today. So don't even worry about it. It's all good.
It's all good. We try to keep it real though in this lifestyle and explain how this is all the reality of it as well. So jumping into it, what our insights were after 1 year on the road. So the first thing was that we did figure out that we really liked this lifestyle. There were just lots of things about it that we really enjoyed. But it goes hand in hand with that is that we also had a lot of moments of uncertainty where we questioned what we did. Like when we first moved into the rig after being in our house, like I cried, I think, every single day for that first week. Because I was just not sure about what we had done. I cried because the kids' toys got all wet that I left outside because I didn't know where else to put them. Like it was a very emotional time when we first got on the road to kind of adjust to this lifestyle. So if you're feeling that same thing when you're first starting or concerned you are, like it's okay. Like we've been there.
Well, it's one of those things too that like we obviously didn't make that decision and sell all of our stuff and sell our house in like a few days. Like we had a long time to think about this. Like it was months of preparation, planning, just getting ourselves ready and excited. Like there was a lot of excitement during that time too. But when it actually happened, yeah, it was like, holy cow, what are we doing?
Like, I didn't even physically think we were going to be able to leave the house. Like, that last time that we were in our house, we had built our house and thought it was going to be the house that we were going to raise our kids in and have grandbabies come back to and all that. So actually physically saying to Craig, like, I have to hand the keys to someone else. Like, I don't know if I can do this. So all those emotions played into when we first got on the road. And then throughout that whole first year, we did keep questioning if it was the right thing to do or not as we tried to figure out what this new lifestyle looked like for us. Mm-hmm. So there were definitely challenges with it. But at the end of the day, we came back to that. We really did enjoy the lifestyle. We were happy to be on the road, the freedoms it gave us, the doors it opened, and all of that. So we did decide after that 1 year that we did really like the lifestyle.
Yeah, and as a testament to that, we're going on year 6 now, so we didn't abort.
We did not.
We are full steam ahead.
And I do think it has taken years to get to a more comfortable place with it too. So I think when people are like, we're just going to go for 6 months or a year, I think if you really want this to be your true lifestyle, you have to be thinking it's going to be a long-term thing and you want to do it for 2, 3, 4 years and just look at it that way so that you're not putting limitations on it and you're giving yourself time to grow and evolve and get into this lifestyle and really learn how to do it for your family and understand it and enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. I think it takes a little bit of time to kind of settle into it. You uproot your life and then you get into this new lifestyle and it takes a minute to kind of really find your groove with it. So
it does.
Give it a chance. Give it a chance to breathe.
Totally. Okay, the second thing was you really don't need 75% of the stuff you think you need when you live in a house. For reals. Like this one is definitely one. We came from an almost 3,000 square foot house and had like 40 different kinds of cups and glasses, tons of toys and games and clothes and all of that. And being on the road, living in this small space, like really made us go, we don't really miss any of those things that we had with us. And anything we did want with us, we had. So it wasn't like there were a lot of things we were missing. I definitely missed my big jacuzzi bathtub, but that wasn't going to come within the RV space. So that's something I had to let go. But for the most part, like, there was really, we did not need the majority of it. And even to this day, we have now 6 plates that we have with us for eating our meals on, and that's it. We have 6 bowls, like, that's it. I don't even think we have 6 cups. I think we have like 4 like regular cups, and then
we had 5 and someone lost one along the way.
So kind of figuring out that idea that we really didn't need so much of that stuff that we had.
Yeah, and I think it also makes you a lot more intentional when you are going to buy something. You have to think about, do I really need this, because we don't just have unlimited space to put it in. And then also, like, what is the functionality of that? Like, can I use it for multiple things? Does it make sense to carry with me in an RV where weight matters? All those things. It makes you kind of think about what you're buying and what you have and what you carry with you.
And I think that also means, though, don't like totally cut yourself off that you're like, you have your favorite coffee machine and you're not going to bring it. Well, no, if you have a favorite coffee machine that you're going to use every single day and enjoy that cup of coffee, then figure out how to bring that with.
Yeah.
Like, we definitely had some things like that. We had a donut maker with us for a while that was just like an extra appliance. And there were definitely things we brought with that were extra and bigger and a little bit of a hassle, but we were glad we had them. So don't totally think you have to get rid of everything. Just make sure you really think about the things you're going to keep and that you really get joy out of them day in and day out.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this is your life. So bring with the stuff that makes your life better for you.
Exactly. All right, the next thing was living in a small space really is easier to manage. I can't tell you, with having 4 kids that were at the time 6, 4, 4, and 2, you can imagine in a humongous house the amount of messes they made, and there were doors that just got closed and things never got cleaned, and it just never felt like the place was totally put together and organized. Where you get into an RV and you're in this tiny space, and it literally takes like 30 minutes to just clean everything up and put things away. Because 1, you have less stuff. And then 2, like, there's a place for everything. And 3, it's just a smaller area. So it was really nice how fast we could get everything cleaned up and put away and, like, have everything look organized and feel like it was done. And sit down at the end of the night and be relaxed about it and just enjoy having it all put together.
Yeah, I think that's something that, like, bothers me more than it bothers Brianna, because, like, I need to go to bed kind of at night with a clean house. It makes me feel better. I sleep better. And the other night, like, we had literally probably 20 kids in our rig doing games, and, you know, they had all sorts of stuff out, and we were sitting out by the campfire, and they were in here for hours. And we came in at the end of the night, and it was not a total disaster, but I mean, 25 kids are going to do that to a small space. And we had it cleaned up before bedtime. Yep. And that was probably like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was very easy to do that. Even included like vacuuming and like wiping the counters down. So it's nice when you can get your space like that. So it is just easy to turn it around and have it be good to go.
Yep.
So definitely. All right. Couldn't imagine now managing a big house. That would be crazy. So this one we actually talked about with the 14 questions to ask yourself. But we did come to this realization after a year or two, is that we need to be in better shape.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody says that, right? But
yes.
Why do you need to be in better shape after living on the road for a year? Tell me.
Well, you know, like when you go on vacation and then you come back from vacation and you're exhausted and you need a vacation from your vacation, especially when you have kids.
Yeah.
Like, it just is like that. Well, now we're basically living vacation like all the time. We're constantly moving, going new places, out exploring. Like, it's moving at a faster pace all the time. So we realized that we really did need to be in better shape, or just be more intentional with having downtime so that we didn't get ourselves to that point. Because when you're on the road, especially when you're first starting, you're so excited to go and see and do everything. And I say take that excitement and run with it, but just keep a pulse on how you're feeling and your family's feeling. And if it's feeling overwhelming, slow yourself down and have down days and have time. You don't have to be running out the door to do things, and enjoy that part of this lifestyle too. Yeah,
and we're outside a lot, and just fresh air and sunshine, I love that, but that'll knock you out a little bit.
Totally.
So yeah, pace yourself
with it and figure out that vibe that works for everyone in your family, because it may be different for your husband or it may be different for one of your kids. So just keep an eye on what works for everyone and make sure, you know, you're kind of playing out to what works for everyone. All right. The next thing is, it isn't all fun and games.
All right, now what's your favorite saying? It's all fun and games. What do you say?
It's not all rainbow and sunshine.
That's it. It's not.
It's definitely not all rainbow and sunshine. And I know when you look on Instagram or Facebook and maybe even our posts or you watch our videos, it makes it look like this is just this amazing life and our family is perfect and we never fight and parenting is easy and blah, blah, blah. No.
I mean, it's life. We're living life, and we have young kids who have strong emotions and they're passionate, and that can turn ugly sometimes.
Yes, it can. And it also means that when you're living this lifestyle, you have to plan where you're going to go next, or the RV could break. Something could be wrong with it. There's all of these other things that go into play, where when you're on a vacation, it might just be like, oh, just get another rental car. Like, let's keep going. Or, oh, we don't like our hotel room. Let's switch to a different one. We're just doing it for a week or whatever it may be. But again, this is your lifestyle. So there are lots of different things that come up that make it not just this big, awesome vacation that you're on for your life. So It is still your life. And we tell people that it still is. Parenting is still parenting, and parenting's still hard. We definitely talk about that. The kids still have to, be learning how to read and write and do those things. Craig and I still have to work on our relationship, and we have to work. So all of those other things are still out there. So it is not all rainbow and sunshine. But when we post on social media, I do not want to post a picture of our kids crying or put that out there just for their sake.
They don't like that either. They don't want to have that shown to everybody. Like, they want some privacy too.
Yep. So that's when when we have opportunities like this that we can just share with you. Like, the reality of it is that it's hard. It is hard, and that's okay. It is hard for everyone. We have not met anyone on the road that said it's so easy, unless maybe they have really older kids that are kind of off on their own for most of it. But I think even for them, there's other things that come up. So the reality of it is that it is not easy, and that's okay. Like, that's totally normal.
Yeah. And I think what happens in this lifestyle is there's just a lot more variables. Like, I think when you're in a house and you're in a community, you can kind of feel pretty stable and comfortable. And here we're moving all the time, and there's just a lot of different things thrown at us throughout that time. So it can be challenging to kind of ebb and flow with it.
Well, also, you're kind of like making your own path, like blazing your own path. With that in itself takes a lot of energy to say, we're going to do something very different from the majority of people that we know, or even just in our community back home or our family. And that in itself has a toll on you too, like emotionally, physically, like all of that. So just know all of that going into it, like, it's not going to be easy, and just know it's not going to be easy. So you're ready for it. And that's also when we talk about wanting to be on the road for at least a year or more, because I really think it takes that year to kind of let yourself get into that flow, let things go, figure out what's going to work for you, what's important, what isn't, and just really work through that so you can get to a good, comfortable place.
Yeah, but I'm going to put a positive spin on this because I'm a positive guy. It makes
I'm not laughing.
It makes you more adaptable and more like go with the flow. You're able to expand your comfort zone, and terrible things don't feel as terrible just because you're kind of used to some chaos.
Exactly. So a lot of good things come from it. So ride it out. You will make your way through it. Work through it. It will be there. But also know if you see another full-time family out there, go talk to them about it, because I bet they are either feeling the same thing that day, or they were last week or last month or whatever it may be. So know everyone out here has the same feelings. Everyone we've met has the same feelings. Has gone through the same things.
Yeah, and I think that's why this full-time family community is so willing to help and like be friendly and help people when they're in need, because they've all been there and they've all felt that.
Exactly. Okay, the next thing is we aren't on vacation. So we keep talking about like being on vacation all the time, which it does definitely feel like that. But the reality is we're not on vacation. Because when you go on vacation, what do? You save a lot of money, you spend a lot of money, you go do a lot of cool stuff. Well, we're going to all these new places where we want to be able to go and do all the activities, or we want to try all the new restaurants, but that gets really, really expensive. So in the beginning, we kind of did that. We overspent, and actually we're spending more money than we were spending living in a house with everything included, because we went and did everything. And we wanted to live basically like we're on vacation all the time, and that we just cannot maintain that. So we started to do things like just Googling free things to do at the cities we were visiting, or visiting a lot of national parks, because once you get the $80 a year membership, you can get into the national parks for free. We also got a reciprocal museum membership, which was great, since then we could use that to go into museums all around the country, which we'll put a link to our article on that reciprocal museum membership so you can learn more about it.
That's well worth it.
Well worth it. That paid for itself for us, the family of 6, I think, after like 2 museum visits. So there's also aquariums on there and children's museums. There's lots of different things on it. So yeah, it kind of took some time to adjust into that, and also like a little sadness that like, like we're at this really cool place, but I can't go do all the things I want to do because it just costs too much, and like having to be okay with that and having to just enjoy those free things or finding Groupon things or just approaching it a little bit differently. So I definitely think that was a bit of a challenge to get through that.
Yeah, I think so. And but now like our kids enjoy maybe more than doing those things is just playing at the campground. Like they have this time and this freedom to do that, and so do most of the other kids here. So they maximize that totally.
Yes.
They're out there, like, as soon as they can get out, they're out till dark, you know, that kind of thing.
And I think that had to go more with us learning it was okay not to go do everything, and our kids were getting so much out of just playing at the campground, too, and accepting that that was just as important as going out and exploring and doing all that as well.
Yeah.
All right, the next thing. Camping is expensive. Yes, it is. So when we first got on the road, the same thing.
I think there's a big caveat to this.
What?
So I think if you take a camping trip when you live in a house and you're going on vacation, that's cheap. That's kind of a cheap vacation, right?
Not necessarily. If you have to rent an RV and rent an RV.
No, I mean, you go tent camping, or like
okay.
if you have
Yes.
if you have an RV already and you just go to the state park for like a weekend, you think like, oh, this is really you know a high value vacation because I'm getting what I need, but it's not costing me a lot. But when you do it every day of your life, it can add up, right?
Yeah, it definitely can. So we were finding that every campground that we wanted to go to stay at, because it was close to the attractions we wanted to go to or things we wanted to do, it was anywhere from $40 to $60 to $80 a night, and you times that by 30 nights out of the month. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I remember the first few times we did it, I was kind of freaking out, like, this is like more than our mortgage to like pay for the camping. So then we had found through the Full-Time Families group out about 1,000 Trails, which is a membership that you can get. And we'll put a link into the notes about that as well. So 1,000 Trails is a membership you can get where you can get a membership and then stay at their campgrounds for free, with quotes, because you do have to pay like a monthly fee and all that. Just to keep the membership, but you can stay at their campgrounds for free. And the good thing is that a lot of other full-time families on the road do this. So when you go to the 1,000 Trails, you're normally going to run into other families that are on the road, especially if you go to 1,000 Trails Orlando in January and February. We are here now, and there's probably 100 families here. Like, it's crazy. But when we came to 1,000 Trails Orlando, right after we got on the road and met with some full-time families and kind of talked about this, we started learning from them some of the different things they did to keep the cost down. And 1,000 Trails was definitely a big part of that. The other thing was being able to go boondock at places where we just stay for free on like BLM land and places like that, so that we could not have to buy, a night at a campground. Granted, we had no hookups, so there's more stuff that goes into it, but that was another option. But I think the biggest thing that made it not expensive for us was getting that 1,000 Trails membership and then utilizing that. And we actually bought a used one, which you can still buy. So we bought a membership from someone else that was done using it. So now we can't resell it again, but we felt like the value was well worth it. If you're going to go that route of buying a used one, just make sure that you do talk to someone that already has a membership that can maybe look over the membership for you, and just make sure all the things that you want are in place on the membership. There's all sorts of weird, crazy things that happen in 1,000 Trails. The campgrounds are not the best by any means. The one in Orlando is pretty good. There's a few other ones that are good, but for the most part, not the best campgrounds. Internet doesn't, like, our Verizon signal isn't always good at them. They're an hour away from things. There's lots of factors that come into play, but they really helped us lower the cost of camping because we quickly learned how expensive it was to rent a campsite every single night. Even though if you stay for a week, you might get a discount, or a month, you might get a discount. It was still extremely expensive. So something to be aware of.
Yeah.
All right, the next thing. There are so many amazing things to see and do. Like, I have to say, when we were sitting in our house back in Wisconsin before we hit the road, I knew there were lots of cool things out there, but you kind of just know, like, the big highlights that everyone knows. Well, now that we're on the road and we're going to visit these locations that were never even on our list of places to go to, we're finding that there are so many cool hikes to do. There's so many little towns out there. There's so many just fun things to do that we didn't even know existed until we got on the road and went out and found them.
Yeah, and I think what we see is the journey and like the in-between destinations, because most people when they go on vacation, they leave their house and they go directly to where they're vacationing at, and they miss everything in between because they're on such a tight schedule, and we're not. So we get to see all that little stuff and like those small towns, like you said, and really take those in for a while.
We'll just spend more time in each location, which is always nice too. So we can be at one location for a week or two, and then maybe even longer than that if we really like it, and then you're really able to learn more about the place. Maybe you even go to the local library and you sign up for classes there and just learn more about the community in the local area. Like, you have a lot more time to invest in the location you're at. It's always funny, when people talk about going on vacation, like, oh, we're going to be there for a week. And we're just like, oh my gosh, a week is not long enough. Like, we're in the mindset we need months to like really explore a place. So there's a lot of really cool things out there and things above and beyond what you even know until you get out there and start exploring and finding them. Okay, the next thing, again, we had this in our 14 questions as well, but it is very, very important. You better like your husband and kids. You are with them a lot. This is all part of the adjustment to getting on the road, is the idea that all of a sudden one of the spouses is not going to be gone all day at work, unless you have your stuff set up that way, but most people don't. Usually the spouse is working from the rig or just is around a lot more than they were. So you have to get used to that, especially if your kids were in school and all of a sudden now they aren't. Like, there's a lot of things that come into this idea of you guys are around each other all the time. And it's okay. It's not easy. It's okay to say that, to know that everyone feels the same way. We're not all like this, like, kumbaya singing family every single night. Like, no, it's difficult and hard to spend all that time together.
It is, and I think the kids get sick of us just as much as we get sick of them sometimes.
Yes, definitely. The same thing for them. They need their space from each other. They need their space from us. But again, the positive side of that is that it has really helped to build our relationship with our kids, along with building their relationship with each other. So it's also a real positive to work through this as a family and get to a place where you can enjoy your time with each other. But it does take some effort and work to get to that point. It's always evolving. I mean, we're going on 6 years here, and I feel like we're still evolving through this. And just each year we've grown to make this better. But in the beginning, it was hard. It was hard to figure that out.
It was.
Okay, the other thing is making friends. I don't think we knew how many cool friends we would make and how fun it would be to just travel together with other families that did this, and how quickly you made friendships because you spent so much time together right out of the gate. Like, we're at a campground and your kids are playing like from sun up to sundown because your house is right there and their house is right there, and everyone's not running off to soccer practice or gymnastics or whatever it might be. So the kids are just spending a ton of time together, so the relationships get going really fast. The same thing with the adults. They're spending a lot of time together as well. So we were really pleasantly surprised at how quickly we made good friends, especially by going to 1,000 Trails, where we knew there were going to be a lot of other full-time families, and then putting effort into making the friends. But if we just did that, it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like people on the road are a little bit more relaxed and like are willing to kind of take some time to just sit around a campfire at night and not feel they have to do a bunch of things like to their house or to their yard, and they can have some time to just relax.
Yeah, so it's great. So as adults, we get to work on relationships too, which is really cool. It's not just about the kids, but also as adults, we get to make friendships now, new friendships, and meet new people and really explore, just different people that we would not have met in our normal day-to-day life. So
yeah, definitely.
All right. So the other thing, you will always feel a little bit lost. This was, again, another thing it took some time to adjust to. But, I know for me at least, when I would put all the kids in the car and buckle them in, and I'd be like, okay, we're going to go drive to the grocery store. It was maybe 15 minutes to get to the one I wanted to get to. I could kind of zone out and take a break for a minute because I knew exactly where to go to get to that grocery store, so I didn't have to think about it. Well, now all of a sudden, I need to put the directions into my Google Maps on my phone. I need to follow the directions. I need to pay attention where I'm driving. It's not as relaxed and chilled anymore. So you kind of are always feeling like you're just a little bit lost with everywhere you go because they're just not common, like, normal places that, like, you've been going to. So definitely a bit of a challenge kind of trying to feel comfortable in the new places that you're at.
Yeah, that's just something you have to get used to.
It is. I think over the years it's gotten easier, but I know in the beginning it definitely caused me some stress. So, all right, you're going to get really excited when a campground has an awesome laundry room. I'm telling you guys. Some of these laundry rooms are horrible. Some of them are amazing. So when you find a campground with a good laundry room, you're going to be extremely excited.
It's the little things in life.
It is. Also, we didn't quite realize that when we woke up in the morning, we weren't always going to be sure where we were. So when you wake up in the morning, sometimes you have to stop for a second and go, where are we parked again? What city are we in? And even with the kids, especially when they were younger, it'd be coming in the room like, Mommy, where are we? Like, it's just this whole different concept that you get up in the morning and you're at a new place that you weren't at yesterday. And it takes a minute to remember where you're at.
Yep.
All right, water pressure. I never realized how much I liked good water pressure until I moved into an RV.
Yeah, I'll add on to that, and it's just the amount of hot water too that we have is just not quite like the big old water tanks we used to have at home.
No.
We got 6 gallons in here, and that doesn't do much.
And we know some people have fancy endless water heaters, and that's great for them, but we have never been where we have had that. So definitely hot water and the water pressure. So like when we'd go back home to visit, maybe stop at Craig's parents' house or my parents' house at the time, I would love to wash the dishes because I could just turn the hot water on and turn it on hard and fast so it came out with all this pressure and be like, oh, this is so great to wash dishes like this. Same thing when you get in a shower. It's like, I'll be out in 30 minutes. Like, this is nice to just enjoy this water pressure. All right, the next one. Privacy does not exist. So, if you're going to go out boondocking in the middle of nowhere with no one around you, of course you're going to have privacy. If you're not, you're going to be at these campgrounds, everyone is right there. You turn and look out your window and you can see in your neighbor's rig, basically. As you can see here. You can basically just see right into their window. So this is part of what we love about it, is having such a tight-knit community, but it also means that it's hard to kind of escape on your own. You really have to kind of get in your car and drive somewhere to kind of find some time away and a little bit more privacy.
Yep.
All right, the next one bathroom. So we are a family of 6 that had one bathroom for 6 years for our family. One bathroom. It sometimes is a race to get to the bathroom when we get back and someone has to go, I'm going first. But other than that, it hasn't been that difficult. And again, What does it mean having one bathroom? We only have to clean one bathroom.
That's right.
So.
But also, I mean, the campgrounds have bathrooms here. So if it's an issue of having to go and someone's occupying yours, then you just walk to the campground one, which I did this morning.
You did when someone else was in the bathroom. So it is what it is. All right, jackets, shoes, wetsuits, oh my. The next thing is there is a whole lot of stuff that just comes with having kids in a small space. And in our house, we had kind of like a mudroom area where you can hang stuff and put stuff. Well, in an RV, there isn't always the perfect place for that. And it seems like there's always something else you're trying to hang up to dry, or you're trying to put the shoes away, or you're trying to find spots for things. So again, just in a small space, it gets a little overwhelming, but you figure it out, just like you do with everything else.
And these are the kind of things that don't really have a designated place to go. You know, shoes end up on the floor, and in an RV they're all over the floor. So
yep, or like a wet bathing suit that doesn't go back in the bathing suit bag because it's all wet, and then you try to hang it up outside and it starts raining. So there's lots of factors like that. All right, the other thing, we got 2 more here, is wow. Like, just wow. This lifestyle just is wow with the amount of things you see.
You mean whoa? Like do the whoa?
What's do the whoa?
I don't know. It's a dance move, I think.
Oh, all right. Craig can teach me the whoa, I guess. I was saying, wow. There's just lots of really cool things that are out in the world, and just this lifestyle introduces you to them. It pushes your comfort zone. It makes you see your family different, your spouse different, yourself different. It's just, there's a lot of really, really cool things about it.
Absolutely.
And the last thing is just stopping to breathe and take it in. Like, it's, at least for me, as being someone who likes to go and do a lot of things, like, I have to constantly tell myself, like, just stop and, like, take a deep breath and enjoy what we're doing right in the moment. There may be 10 awesome things we want to go do today, but let's just stop and breathe it in and enjoy what we're doing. Enjoy the fact that we're on the road with our family like this, that we actually did this, and just really enjoy it for what it is and slow our pace of life down and just enjoy being together as a family, and then also individually just enjoying all the cool things we're seeing and doing, and just really take a deep breath and slow down and enjoy it.
I think this is something that people just forget to do no matter what kind of lifestyle you're living, because day-to-day stuff is, you feel like it's so much and like it's so either hard at the time or stressful or whatever, but it's really awesome.
It really is. So that was our take of being on the road for 1 year. I know we put in there some things also from being on the road now over 5 years, but for the most part, after a year, these were kind of the things that we came around to and we felt, and we thought it was important to kind of share where we were at in that point in our journey of full-time RV travel with our kids. So next week, we're going to go into year 2 and what we felt like. So the same thing, we wrote a blog post at that time about year 2, and you'll see when we talk about that things kind of evolved and changed as the years went on. Yeah. So next week, we will talk about year 2 and what we felt like after being on the road for 2 years.
All right. That sounds really good.
All right. We'll catch you guys then. Bye.
Bye-bye.